At first, I definitely did sit down at home, watch TV, play video games, do that kind of thing, just isolate myself from, not really the public, but my family. I didn't want to have to open up right away. I wanted to kind of open up on my own terms, as it said in the video.
And it wasn't so much me isolating myself on my own. You know, my wife made sure that everybody stayed away from me, and she helped me confine myself from, you know, just my family and myself. I didn't, you know, didn't go out much, didn't want to see everybody. I didn't want to answer questions.
I would say I was probably a little different than how she was reacting, whereas she read a lot of material on how to pick up signs on how he's dealing with it, where I refused to read anything. I just kind of wanted to wing it and see when he got home how he was going to react to things and just take it case by case. I didn't want to have a preconceived notion that just because he was acting this way, it would be diagnosed as one thing when really, you know, it could have been the complete opposite.
And I was completely the opposite. I wanted to read everything possible so that if something happened, I would be informed, because I wanted to know ahead of time. I wanted to be educated on all the possibilities.
Getting everyone together, familiar faces, isn't that exactly what you need?
Jesus, you sound just like the damn pamphlet they gave us before
What do you want me to do? I can't read your mind, Jeff.
I remember myself sitting in those briefs, waiting to come home, and, you know, like, two things with that. You know, one part of me is I just want to go home. I'm not here trying to listen to the stuff. But the times that you were paying attention to the stuff they had to say, you think about it, and I guess it depends on Marine to Marine, but I didn't think it pertained to anything. You know, I think that was a good thing that my wife didn't read all that material, because, like I said, every Marine could be dealt with differently. I don't think there should be one set way on how we want to do when we come home with our family, is to reenact a whole brief that we just got done going through.
And like Sean just said, everybody's different. So when you watch this video, the portrayal of the mom and the son and the wife and the husband, how they react and how they relate to each other, might not be your situation. Mm-hmm. It's, if you have 50 different people, there's going to be 50 different situations.
Jeff, you know, I was thinking we could go to the hardware store today. I want to take care of the gutters before the rain starts.
The way the wife was portrayed in the video came off as the stereotype form. Very needy. The car needs to be fixed. We need to go to the hardware store. We need to do this. We need to do that. She immediately bounced back into the I need you stage, where completely me and Sean. When Sean got home, I was doing things on my own. I didn't trying to take that I'm in charge role. I just came from Iraq. I was in charge. Now I'm coming home. My wife's in charge. How do I deal with that?
Eddie, you have drunk every day and expect to accomplish anything. We gotta talk about it. You gotta talk to somebody sometime.
Is this how it's always going to be? Is this, you know, my mom, like she said earlier, she knows I'll come to her if I need to talk, and when she does, she has the most subtle voice about it. She'll wait for me to bring it up, and then she'll ask 9 million questions upon that. But it's okay, because I've opened up. Where in the video, the mother came off extremely aggressive, in my opinion, and I would have flipped.
The mom did say, you need to talk to someone. Doesn't matter who it is, you need to talk to someone. Because there's things, you know, that you need to talk about. But then again, on the other side, you know, they've been taught to just suck it up and be a man and do what you have to do, and they're not going to go talk to some counselor. So there's, in a way, they have to realize that you can still be a man and talk to someone.
We first found out Sean was being recalled. I didn't know where to turn, and nobody had contacted me to give me any type of information on resources that were out there to kind of give me an ounce of information to share with him, or at least an understanding of what he was going through. So I just jumped on the internet and looked for the nearest VFW, sent them a little email about myself and about Sean and the situation. They, within an hour or two, called me and asked, you know, okay, we read your email, what can we do? And during the entire deployment, that was my source of, I needed to vent, and I needed to know that what I was doing was the right thing, and during the whole time, that's who I turned to. So the community in my area, as far as the VFW and other military families that live there, were wonderful.
The fact that she did go to the VFW, and a lot of people in my generation, especially with Generation Marines, we all think VFW, think of like Vietnam vets, World War II vets. Times are changing, and the generations are rolling over, and now we're in charge of the VFW. We make up a large portion of it. I was already getting care packages from the VFW. I was getting letters from other vets in the VFW that already established that form of communication and started that, if you want to call it, healing process or transition process before I even came home, because I was talking to somebody about it, somebody that was relating to me. I can understand how sometimes my spouse or, you know, maybe your mother or anybody that's close to us could feel maybe left out. When I go to maybe like a banquet for the VFW and I start talking, and she'll notice that, you know, I start opening up to certain people, other Marines. VFW, you know, is you got your Navy, you got, you know, all your other armed forces, but I only talk to the Marines. And then we start getting in our conversations, and that's where I take off, you know. And it has nothing to do with not wanting to talk to your spouse. It's just, that's where I find my comfort.
I knew that was his scapegoat. He needed that. So I would push him, go ahead. Go have, you know, time with them for a few hours, because when he came back, he was a little easier to deal with because he had let all of it off of his chest.
That's where we find our comfort, is within our fellow Marines.
Brotherhood.
Exactly, and it's, you don't realize how strong that brotherhood is until you need it.
And you need it, yeah.
I don't think it's about getting back to the way we were. I think it's about dealing with where we are now.
I would say to any military wife who's getting ready to see her husband for the first time after a deployment, don't expect too much too soon. And that wife did hit a perfect tone when she said, we can't go back to the way we were, let's just focus on the here and now. You cannot expect to receive what you sent off. Like I said earlier, the man I let go is not the same man that came through the door. Be very sensitive to that.